when necessary. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by our good friends over at Watkins Construction and Roofing. A roof repair can cause you a lot of stress. Choosing the right roofing company to repair your roof is very important. Most contractors will try to convince you that replacement is the only way to go, and that, my friends, is not the Watkins way. They believe in an honest assessment. That does not necessarily mean replacement. In most cases, all you need is a repair. So whether you have a leaky roof, you need chimney repair, flat roof repair, roof water leak, shingle roof repair, metal roof repair, chimney, flashing repair needed, Watkins Construction and Roofing is going to be your go-to roof repair specialist. Give them a call today for your complimentary roof assessment at 601-966-8233, or check them out online, WatkinsConstructionInc.com. And shout out to those guys, always doing good things, always giving back to the community, and we love that here at the Clay Edwards Show. All right, what we were talking about, look, I know there's a bunch of news out there, and we'll get to it, but I just, every now and then, after a week of banging your head against the wall, hollering Democrats bad, I like to take my foot off the gas a little bit. And last night on Facebook, on the Save Jackson Facebook, and you can go there to see all of the answers from other people. And so the question I really want to focus on, what's a rite of passage from growing up around here? Also, apparently, nowadays, it's getting shot at Jackson gas stations. But, that's neither here nor there. Let's see. Some other folks said, Jeremy, shout out to our buddy Jeremy McGuire. Jeremy says, cruising on McDowell Road, the dock, getting chased by the PRV for shooting bottle rockets at cop cars. When you're 14 and stupid, catching big catfish out of Pillahatchee Bay. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, over there on Raymond Road down there close to the Southside Assembly and Southside Baptist Churches, or what was that, Meadow Garden or something Garden? It was across the street from where I grew up. We used to stand behind the neighborhood entrance signs and throw eggs at cars. God, we were bad kids. So bad. But, hey, at least we weren't shooting people. So, I mean, eggs versus bullets. Nowadays, you would get shot if you throw an egg at a car. No doubt about it. And anyway, I could tell you all the story about that. Happened out in East Rankin the other day. Happened out there out in, what do they call that? Reservoir East. Some kids were outside throwing a football. Little young kids throwing a catch with their dad, and the kid threw the ball and accidentally hit you guessed it, a Dodge Challenger coming down the road, and the guy gets out of the car and threatens to kill the little kids. I need to see what the follow-up was to that. I saw that blowing up on Facebook the other day. But, anyway, back to the fun stuff. Tracy says, depends on what kind of kid you were. But for me, it was buying cigarettes and mini thins for the first time at the gas station when I was 15. There was this one gas station in Clinton that would sell anything to minors if he thought you wouldn't snitch. You were officially cool if he deemed you worthy. Yeah, we had one like that over in South Jackson, too. It was right there at the corner, right next to Dairy Queen, at the corner of Ellis Avenue and Raymond Road right there. I remember we bought some beer there one time at 15 and, of course, had a wreck later that night. Also, I think that's where I got the beer from the first time Dean Scott ever pulled me over on McDowell Road and had like 2 cases of beer in the back of my truck. Had to pour every one of them out right there on McDowell Road, so he wouldn't call my parents. Guess what this guy still did? Made me call my parents. Dang it, Dean. Doing your job and stuff. That was 2 cases of Beast Light just gone. Let's see here. Let's hit one a little local on the floor level, man. My buddy Tim texted in on the Guns and Gear text line, says, now this is only for people who grew up in Florida will know this rite of passage. Getting your license and you were the one to drive your friends on the Smith Loop. Turn on 49 at Sullivan's and takes you 45 minutes if you do it right and get back to intersection 49 and Highway 22 right up from the station. Yeah, I used to we had a version of that out in Byron, man, where you could get on, you kind of run 18 to Raymond, come back up Midway, go all the way to Terry, and then kind of come back down. It was our back road. I love to get out in that Midway Road area there in Hinds County and do all my back road riding. Let's see here. Tyler says, taking some old Sally Mae home from Pops to find out that one tooth. I can't read that. Oh, good stuff. But yeah, Pops around the corner, man. That is a rite of passage. It was anyway. It's not quite what it used to be. Well, just different owners, different everything, just a different deal. It is what it is. But Pops was always a fun deal. If you get out of Pops without getting in a fight, you were doing something good. Heck, another thing that I thought was a rite of passage, and I talked to somebody on the show about this the other day, or maybe it was on my podcast with Chops and Trig. We talked about going over to Daiquiri World on Wednesday or Thursday nights. That was a rite of passage. They had college night over there. I want to say theirs was Wednesday night because we came back here and did the local Jackson clubs on Thursdays. Man, Daiquiri World was a good time. I think it was nickel drinks or quarter mixed drinks. It was crazy. Let's see, on the Guns and Gear text line, Kevin says, stealing chrome valve stand caps and put them on your Mongoose bike. Oh, yeah. No, that's a good one there. Let's see, unknown texter says, Roman candle wars on Capitol Street New Year's Eve. You had to learn to run fast and laugh. They all get burned, huh? Let's see here, man, some more. Jamie says, not dying in Jackson. And look, the Jackson jokes are endless, but I do want to try to keep it kind of retro and actually kind of fun. Let's see. Being introduced to Beer Street in Northeast Jackson. Y'all going to think I'm an alcoholic. I know a lot of you remember Beer Street. No, that's new to me. My buddy Jamie says, hotel parties at Jubilee Jam. I was looking at my wall of concert tickets and old backstage passes last night, and I saw the Three Doors Down Nickelback show from One Jackson Place. And we had a good relationship with the guys in 12 Stones, and they played that show too, so we got hooked up on it. And they used my club right next door kind of as their green room that day. So we got to hang out with a bunch of the guys. Everybody's super cool. People can make all the Nickelback jokes they want, but those guys are really nice guys. I want to tell y'all want to feel old today? That show was in 2004. That was 18 years ago, the last concert in One Jackson Place before they built those new buildings and all that are there now. Let that soak in. It's going to be almost 20 years since a Three Doors Down Nickelback show here in Jackson, Mississippi. Wow. Wow. I do feel old. Adam says, being able to stay out past the street lights. Michelle, oh my God, y'all, McDowell Road for the first time and being like, for real, y'all, I grew up out by Cold Bluff and I swear had more fun running when the game warden showed up. Yeah. There's, Rob says, getting called a racist for pointing out the obvious. Well, that's a current rite of passage. That is a current rite of passage. Let's see here. Miss Sylvia texts in. She goes, I love Nickelback. And we love you, Miss Sylvia. Sean on the Guns and Gear text line. Hanging out in fields with bonfires, taking our jacked up trucks to wavelengths and taking the trails back to the sandbars on the Pearl River. Giving Curtis a quarter at the Texaco in Madison and hearing him sing and dance. I mean, y'all remember, it's not a rite of passage anymore because you can't do it. But remember being able to take your four-wheelers and all that stuff down to the levees? I mean, the sandbars at Silas Brown there? You can't even get down there anymore. I mean, but we would go down there with our trucks and camp out for the weekend. And I guess it's basically what they have they have a much nicer version of it out there at Elton Road now. But back then, it wasn't anything organized. It's a wonder more people didn't die. It's a wonder I didn't die. You get up on that levee on your Banshee and just going all out. Good stuff, man. We used to have so much fun. We'd get down there on a Friday night and not come back up from that hole down there till Sunday afternoon. I mean, we made the most out of hanging out down there. I guess, what would they call that? Is that the Gold Coast? Is that the nickname? Oh, man, this is a good one here. Keith texts in and says, buying CDs and tapes at Bebop. Like local artists would sell their stuff. You could actually go buy Mississippi Mafia. That was my favorite rap group growing up. You could go buy a Mississippi Mafia CD or cassette there at Bebop by the Metro. And every Tuesday is when new music came out. And you could go listen to it on the headphones there. Anyway, that was good stuff. Yeah, man, Bebop, that was fun. That was definitely fun on Tuesdays or whatever day. Paul's text in on the Guns and Gear text line says, closing down Pops and leaving when it's daylight outside used to be a rite of passage. Now it's a death wish. Yeah, I mean, that's Jackson, man. That's anywhere in Jackson, not just a single out Pops. Let's see. Greg texted in, Little Big Store. Absolutely. You know, you can still go to the Little Big Store out in Raymond. It is worth your trip out there. It really is. Just get lost in the Little Big Store for hours and hours and hours looking at posters and old records and T-shirts, just everything, man. It's a time capsule. I mean, it needs to be put on the historic places, deemed a historic landmark. It really is something unique and deserves to be taken care of and last forever, in my opinion. Take your kids out there, man. They'll love it. You know, especially if they're getting into that 15, 16-year-old range and starting to kind of rediscover some of your old music. Like I remember when I started discovering Kiss and like old Kiss, makeup era Kiss. Not girl makeup era, but the black and white makeup era. And AC/DC and some of this other stuff. And got into my parents' vinyl collection. And, man, I just was – Led Zeppelin, of course, and just all the great bands. But anyway, when I was out at Little Big Store a couple of years ago, it just took me back to digging through my parents' records for the first time. Highly recommend it. All right, look, let's take a break here. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We're live in the Dustin Bailey at Southern Magnolias Realty Studio. And we'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.